this jumble of wires and battery pack is our automatic chicken coop door. So this is just a small variation on a setup that you could see online, where they had like a bunch of the wires going into the same feeds of the relay. I wasn't a huge fan of that, so I ended up using this DC fuse box that I have. All of this is like hooked up to these like 8 D cells that are all hooked up to give out 12 volts. So this is pretty straightforward. I got the timer set right now, and I can just adjust those times whenever you want. And that's what operates the chicken coop door. It's been working really well. I do need to clean it up, but it's low on the list and nobody's messed with it yet. So I think, you know, for now I'm just gonna leave it, but I will do a little follow-up to clean up after it. The DC side of the system needs a bit of a cleanup, but you can see here we have our battery, which connects to this 150 amp fuse that's here. That also acts as our quick disconnect. So we use a 0 gauge wire to go from the battery to that, and then we use 2 5 gauge wires to go to the inverter. We're also using 2 5 gauge wires for the negative side of the inverter. Off the block on the back of the inverter, we have this wire that connects to our first outlet, which is GFCI. Everything else in the barn is connected off below to that. So we're going to do another video of us upgrading this to run all this through conduit, because this is definitely not what you want to do, and it's kind of annoying that I started out this way, but it should be straight up pretty easy to eventually pull it through some plastic conduit, and it shouldn't be a problem. But you can see here we have our speakers plugged in. These are nice Bluetooth speakers. They're about 30 watts, so that's not a problem. And then we run from that outlet into the tack room, where we've got some other stuff set up. By this time I had gotten the memo about the conduit, so you can see the rest of our sheathed wire runs into this device box here, which covers this outlet and this switch. And then from there, I did everything else that's external with this PVC conduit that you can see here. So I just have that run here, and that pops up and out of the tack room. So that flexible conduit comes out of the tack room. The flexible conduit that comes out of the tack room comes down here to this box. Again, I found that the inflexible stuff was available after I found the flexible, so I ended up going with that because that was actually really easy to work with. But this here, we have another outlet in here. You can see here, and this switch, which will obviously operate this light. So that all comes off from there, connects to that fixture that's up there, and we just operate with the switch.